Yeah, I think it's just the next game, but obviously, it's a great opportunity. One of the best teams in the country. Obviously, this is one of the games when you're looking at the schedule, one of the ones you circle. It's a dream come true to be able to play at that stadium and play against that team. But, I mean, it's just another opportunity for us to go play a clean game, execute at a high level.
Play against the number one defense in college football in Ohio State, and then take on the number two in Oregon. What makes them so difficult?
Yeah, I think they have a really, really, really good system. I mean, all their defensive coaches came from Georgia with Kirby Smart. Their head coach was DC there as well. So, I mean, I think that defense at Georgia is one of the best. And then you translate that to Oregon. You have really, really good players. You got a great scheme. And their D-line's really, really good and gets after the quarterback. So I think that's obviously a recipe for success. So we got to do a good job executing.
When you trade personally, you got a clutch situation, you got to go get points. What do you try to do personally before you take the huddle or take the sideline?
Yeah, really just, I mean, take a minute to yourself, but also, you got to get the guys going. Just build confidence within everybody. Like, it's the final drive. It's the last situation. You have an opportunity to go win the game. So, I mean, you might have to throw some balls that you maybe not have thrown in the first or second quarter, some tighter windows. But that's what those drives call for. Because at the end of the day, I mean, those throws, like the one to Mekhi, he made a great catch on. But it was a super tight window, and I have to have confidence in that. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, that throw, if we don't complete that, it's 4th and 4 on the 48-yard line. So I think you have to have confidence in all your guys, but also you might have to make a throw that you might have not made, and you might have checked it down in the first quarter.
What were the biggest things that Harbaugh had you working on during the bye?
Yeah, just fundamentals and technique. I mean, there were some things that we watched up until 8 weeks, 9 weeks, that I needed to get better at with my feet, with my eyes, with all those kind of things. But you don't necessarily have time because it's just game plan after game plan and getting all the looks. And then last week, I really had time to focus on those things, like doing some indie on my own with Keegan, just doing some stuff on the side to be able to work on the things that I needed to work on.
Anything else for Trey?
Did you go hunting during the bye?
No, I didn't. I probably will in January, though. So.
When you go on a place now, this will be, 3 or 4 road games you've
Yeah.
had. Does previous experience help you for this now and everything?
Yeah, 100%. I think like Cal was the first one, and then when I went to Ohio State, I felt a lot more easy and settled in than Cal. And then Iowa, obviously, we didn't play well, but I felt really good going into that one. And obviously, I think that environment was the craziest that I've played in up until this point, with the rivalry and the fans, and they do a great job. But then this one's just another great opportunity. I think all 3 of those road games are, 3 of the ones as a kid that you circle your list for. I mean, those are 3 of the best ones in the country.
You talked about it using the bye to reset mentally, physically,
Yeah.
emotionally. How do you accomplish that?
Yeah, I mean, it helped me so much. I think mentally after, towards the 5th and 6th week straight, your brain can start to get tired. I mean, physically I felt really good, but, going into Michigan State, you can feel a little tired because, that's 6 in a row of just new game plan after game plan and flushing the last one and resetting your brain for a new one. And it can get really taxing, especially, my first season doing this as a full-time starter in the Big Ten. It's a lot different than high school. But, yeah, it was great for me mentally, physically, and emotionally. I mean, on Monday I usually come in and sit with Harbaugh all day. And he told me last week during the bye week, just go home, just chill, relax, get your mind off football. And that meant a lot. And it also just got me to spend some time with my family, FaceTime them more, just get my mind off football. So that was really beneficial for me. Yeah, he's a warrior. One of the things I love about him is he's so tough, never complains, just keeps going. Gets banged up, he'll keep going. No matter what it is, he's always gonna have your back. He's gotten really good at communicating the backfield, like I always talked about with DT. He's really taken that step forward because I'd always tell him, like going into Cal when he was really gonna play, I told him I was like, you got to take that step. Like I need you in the backfield, talking to me, communicating with me, because that's one of the things that DT does so well. So I think it's really good having Femi back there.
The offense has been slow to start on the opening drives here this season.
Yeah.
What's going to change on Friday night? What's got to change?
Yeah, we just got to go out and start executing at a really high level from the jump. Starts with everybody, and it starts with me as well. I gotta first play to the last. I gotta get us in the right runs, get the ball out of my hands, put it in spots where my wideouts can go make plays.
Anything else for Trey?
Thank you, guys.
Goodbye.
bye week, what was some of the things that Coach Simon wanted receivers to attack?
I think just as a team, it was being healthy, responding, and then just focusing on the process of getting better. There's not like one specific thing that he tells us that he wants us to get better at. It's more so just a lot of attention to the details that we work on every day. So just doing everything with intention to get better at it, not just focusing on a break point or release. It's just everything becoming a complete receiver.
How do you feel like you've improved given your first time out there?
Just playing with more confidence, more confident in the scheme, and feeling more comfortable with the speed of the game itself. There's a lot of really good athletes that we play each week, so just getting used to being around, other playmakers that are on the field all the time. But yeah, just playing with more confidence, being more at ease when I'm out there, not thinking too much.
What's the level of excitement to face a team like Oregon?
I love games like this when you're playing a top-ranked opponent and, they have, a lot of confidence in themselves. We have a lot of confidence in us. And I think, these games is where big players make plays and make a name for yourself. So I'm excited to go to their stadium. It's my first time ever being out there and just getting to compete against a really good team.
You get to go to their stadium and then Wrigley Field. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
A couple of pretty cool venues. Do you ever think about that? Just how appreciative you are and how, the mystery of it and what that's like?
Yeah, always appreciative of the opportunity to go play anywhere. Not a lot of people get to play at this level, so it's fun. But after you get done arriving to the stadium and you've walked the stadium a little bit, you're not really focusing on where you're at. The field is the same length every stadium. But, yeah, just definitely appreciative of getting those opportunities to play at, big-time stadiums.
You've seen Malachi get a lot more reps here before the bye week. What have you seen from him here more recently in terms of just being able to get on the field more?
I wish I could say I see something different, but I've always seen Malachi play with a lot of confidence. You guys know his ball skills are at a really high level. He has a really big frame. I think it's just him playing with more technique is what he's gotten better at. He's an athletic freak. He's 6'4", one of the fastest on the team. I get excited every time he's on the field and we throw him a ball because I'm just super confident in him coming down with the catch. So, yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing him make more plays for us.
You feel like there's been key with Drake in some late clutch situations, Michigan State, Rutgers, Purdue. What have you seen in him in those key moments where you guys need points?
He has a lot of poise, and he's a competitor. So he's young, but at the same time, a lot of guys look towards him because, for one, he's a quarterback, but for two, he has a lot of confidence. And he doesn't put too much pressure on people when we're in those situations. We rep those situations hundreds of times, camp, the season, spring ball. He just stays really, really calm, collected, and I think that helps everybody else on the offense remain that way. When you see that your quarterback is level-headed, it helps everybody else follow through with the plan.
Anything else for Jaylen?
What kind of challenge does Oregon's secondary present for you guys?
I think they're really athletic. One of the more athletic groups we faced this year. It's just going to come down to technique, playing fast, and trusting your ability. They have a lot of young guys in the secondary, but they play like they're experienced. Just, again, going out there, playing fast, using the technique that we're taught in practice. But, yeah, they're definitely talented. They're ranked for a reason. They're, in the position that they're in for a reason. But, compete at the end of the day. It's a man versus a man. So.
What were your thoughts on their game against Iowa?
It was interesting. It was raining pretty hard. So it was, I feel like the way the game played out might have been a little differently otherwise, but I think it was a competitive game. It's Big Ten football. Iowa's a physical team. Oregon's a physical team. I think there's, a lot of situations where guys made game-changing plays that won the game for Oregon. It was an exciting game to watch, though. Obviously, we just played Iowa recently, and then going to play Oregon. It's good to see two teams that, one you've played and one you're going to go against, compete against each other.
Anything else? Do you think weather will be a factor for you guys?
No. We train in conditions where Flex spraying a spray bottle on us and all types of things. We got rain gloves. Just trying not to let weather dictate how we go about our identity as a team. You got to go out there and win regardless. Both teams play in the same weather, so it's not like we're the only ones that may play in rain. So just compete end of the day regardless of where we're at or what the weather is.
All right. Thanks, Jaylen.
Appreciate y'all.
Do you need to go to Autzen and play the Ducks?
Yeah, it's another great opportunity. When you grow up, you want to play in big football games, and this is going to be another one of those this season, and we're fired up.
This is the best rushing offense you guys have faced all year. What makes them so good?
Excuse me one more time.
This Oregon's the best rushing offense you guys have faced all year. What makes them so good?
Yeah, they got a lot of talent across the board. Their running backs are very good, and they got a bunch of them. So their O-line blocks really well, tight ends block well, so they got a great attack.
What was the message during the bye week, and what do you guys feel you accomplished going forward?
Yeah, we all had to look at our process. Each and every one of us had to go through our process, see what we can do better. So for me, it was tackling. I went and watched all my tackles, missed tackles, and then analyzed what I can do better from there.
You guys look at the last 3 games, or even Michigan State, you had all those tackles for loss, all those sacks, but you've gone over 3 games without a defensive takeaway. I mean, how does it start to come back around where you guys can start taking it away more often?
Yeah, just continuing to emphasize it at practice, punching the ball when we get the opportunities, and as well as making plays on the ball in the air. Those 50-50 balls are going to start coming our way soon with how much we've been emphasizing that in practice.
What's been your impression of Derek, the captain, and he's going to set the record for most games played at Minnesota, Bullsworth candidate. What's kind of your impression of what Derek's been able to do in Minnesota?
Derek's the best leader I've ever been around, best man I've ever been around, so that doesn't shock me at all that he's up for those awards. He's such a great dude, and he continues to lead and bring others with as well. So he's done a great job of that, and I'm pumped for him for all those awards and the records. That's sick. He deserves it.
You've been at the stadium, but not for a game, I hear.
Yeah, I went there. My dad was doing some business in Oregon, and me and my brother tagged along, so walked around on campus early in high school. Pretty cool.
Are you excited to get back to playing a real game now?
Yeah, I am. I'm excited. My brother sent me the picture yesterday of me and him on the field back in like 2017, so he's going to be there as well, so it'll be cool.
What game did you see there?
We were just there. It was like December. My dad had some business, so we did we toured the school or whatever and just hanging out on campus for the day.
Who's behind the backer up hats?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's our saying, that's our camaraderie. That's something that we all live by. It's just a brotherhood in there. So one of my dad's companies is actually in Oregon that does the hats, Richardson hats. So we got some made, got the guys all fitted up for the games.
Anything else from Maverick?
All right, thank you guys.
When you look at through 9 games, you're tied for the Big Ten lead in sacks, and I think you lead the Big Ten in tackles for loss per game. Is this kind of how you envisioned the next step looking like?
Yeah, I mean, this is when all off season, you work your butt off, the whole entire team. I got the guys pushing me every single way that I go. So yeah, when I came to the season, like this stuff happens, you're not surprised because we trained like this all off season. So again, just taking it week by week, seeing the game plan for what it is, and just keep on continuing to grind with my brothers.
You guys have put up a lot of those sacks in games, not against Ohio State and Iowa and Oregon's another quality team. How do you guys get home against a quality team?
Just trusting the game plan. That's like the biggest thing every single week. Trusting the game plan, trusting the rest plan. Watching what the tackles do, watching what the guards do. Oregon has a bunch of good athletic, big guys. So, just trusting the game plan, just playing our game.
You lock into a tackle that's going to be lined up against you, and you watch him extensively during the week, footwork and everything else, or does it not get that?
No, yeah, we lock into the tackles, especially like the E's and definitely like the R's, like Carter Menz and Jackson Howard. We're definitely locking in the tackles more because we go against them pretty often. So again, focus on the tackles and what their tendencies are, where the hands go, with all that. So again, seeing what their tendencies are and just trying to hone in on that to win.
Oregon's one of the best rushing teams in college football. What makes them so dangerous?
They run hard. Again, I said that offensive line, they're big and they're really physical. So, again, just getting off the ball is our mentality. We have to get off the ball every single snap because, they're not going to let up. They're number 9 in the country or something like that. They're a good team. So, again, just bringing it to them every single play is their game plan.
Where have you seen Devin Easton grow since he's been here and since he's been your teammate?
Since he's been my teammate, I think he's grown in all aspects of life, whether that's on the field, off the field. He's one of my closer friends on the team. So, just being able to see him grow from like the year 2 guy, me being the year 1 guy, I'm looking up to him and still looking up to him to this day. But again, just his leadership and then his work ethic, that's definitely a big thing. And then just being able to take the coaching. He's been able to take the coaching so much better in these past few years that I've seen, and it's making me want to get better at being coachable. So, again, just all aspects of life, Devin's just gotten better at.
What have you seen from Drake on the sideline? I know you guys aren't in the huddle at the same time, but as far as what he's done in clutch moments in some games.
Well, like in his clutch moments, see him on the field, the Michigan State game when he ran that ball in. Everybody roots for Drake Lindsey. That's one guy. Everybody on the field, you root for him, but Drake Lindsey, everybody stands up when he's on the field. When he's doing something, everybody's standing up. Everybody's excited to go see him be great. So, again, he's a leader on and off the field. This is awesome, and we knew that's the kind of stuff that he was going to do. So, again, to see him make plays, it makes me really happy.
One of those things that makes people galvanize toward him.
It's just Drake Lindsey, man. It's just Drake Lindsey. He's just a great leader, and you root for those guys that are such positive impacts on you. So again, going from the off season, seeing the person that he's become, and when we get to the Saturdays and he's performing the way that we knew he can perform, it's just really exciting. And that goes for all the guys. You got young guys like Carter Menz. We've been talking about Carter Menz and Jackson Howard for how long, and it's finally paying off. Their work's finally paying off, and a few of us already knew, you knew Carter Menz and Jackson Howard were going to be good. But, now that they're putting it on the field and putting it on paper, it's really exciting. And so seeing all those guys just eat is super exciting.
Coach Fleck talks about sometimes players go and they have an aha moment when they go, okay, now I know, I got it figured out. I know what they expect of me. Did you ever have that moment in your college career where you go, okay, now it makes sense to me, now I know what I am?
That moment was, I would say, that moment was definitely the Virginia Tech game when we played in the bowl game last year. That was my first game without Ja Joyner, so that was definitely a learning curve for me. And then, I played a pretty decent game in that game, but that was the moment that I was like, okay, well, it's just me now. It's it's just me and not Ja no more. So, and that's when it really started clicking, So yeah, that's when it started clicking.
What impresses you about the Oregon quarterback?
Again, he's a big leader. They win in close games, so that's always a big thing. So he's definitely a good guy for the team. But he's an athletic guy. He likes to move in the pocket. He makes plays. He's a good playmaker. So he uses his feet to make plays, and he uses his arm to make plays. So that's what he's an all around good player. So we gotta do our best and cage him inside and keep him contained in the pocket.
Anything else for Anthony? All right.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.